Hi there, good evening, and you're welcome to Voice Notes Community. I'm MJ, and thank you for your time. Hello. So, today is. I feel like I'm a little excited. I'm a little excited because tonight was a night. Um, I'm not sure if I mentioned this last week or the week before, but we've been having a fast in my church, and it has just been amazing. I can't lie, to be very honest, I almost fainted in the this week. This week is the last week. We're finishing on Sunday. And this week was hard. It was hard. It was hard. Like honestly, I don't even think I was hungry. I think I was just like very tired. And it's strange because and I think there's also like a correction in the fact that I usually turn to food in times of, I don't want to say crisis or sadness or whatever, but I could not turn to food. All I had was water. So, but yeah, has been a very interesting week. Yeah, I think I just went to how I've already told you how my week was. So how was yours? Um, I hope you had a good week. But I feel like I'm going straight into today. So let's just do our 10 seconds in go. And that was 10 seconds. Thank you for doing that. I hope that you guys are actually doing it and you're actually taking that 10 seconds to just kind of quiet your mind. I feel like it is amazing. I think it is super amazing that 10 seconds of just quiet, of just I don't know, just does something. I don't know. But yeah, so today we're talking about something that is interesting and is fun and everything. Is it fun? I don't know. We're talking about healing. We're talking about healing, and I don't mean like physical healing. I mean like emotional healing. I just thought of a song, sexual healing. I actually don't know that song, but they always play it in all these when you have a party and then towards the end there are only people in their 50s plus or maybe now 60s plus and they start playing these really old songs. That's when I've never actually listened to the actual song and I'm not going to listen to it because anyways. So let's talk about healing. And so let me just kind of lay it down. So we're going to be talking about why, what, and how. So why are we talking about this in the first place? This is gonna be so. First of you guys, I've been eating this week. I've eaten the word of God this week. So I feel like and then my pastor shares a lot of stories. So I feel like I'm full of things. So I'm not sure I'd actually say anything directly, but I feel like so much is inside and so it's gonna come out. So I feel like today I'm very, very direct. But let's just go. So why? So the reason why we're talking about this is the same reason we talked about shame in the first episode. It's because what carrying around certain pains or certain hurts does to you is that it limits you to an extent. So I'm going to read something that I wrote. I don't know when, but first of all, you guys, they've broken my heart a lot in this life. And even if some of my friends say that it's not heartbreak, that it's just disappointment, but I can't lie, pain is pain. It's still painful. So I used to write poems at a point. I actually used to write poems. I would be crying and I'll be writing and I'll be philosophizing. Nah, interesting times. I need to actually find those things and I don't know if I want to share them or not. But anyways, let me read something I wrote. It basically says fear teaches you to build walls to keep out pain and hurt. What it doesn't tell you is that those same walls keep love out as well. I'm going to read it again. Fear teaches us to build walls to keep out hurt and pain. What it doesn't tell you is that those same walls keep love out as well. So, just to paint a picture, when every time I go to the bathroom, every time I go to the bathroom, I always clean the seats. Like, because when I was younger, my mom drummed it into my ear. Like, there are girls in the house. You have to clean the seat. So now, funny thing, I do this even when it's a men's bathroom. Like, even if it's a men's bathroom, I would clean the seats. Even if I know it is not me that peed on the seats. Which is it's somehow a little, but like my body won't just let me not clean the seats. So just to kind of show you like an extreme picture, and then to show you what it does. Okay, now let's go back to a little bit of a genesis. One of my pastors said something once about how no one is destined, or no one is set up to be the way they are now. When they were born, as they lived through life, things were added, things were taken out, things were added, things were taken out to form the person they are now. Everything that you are is your reaction to things. And, it can be good, it can be bad. Which is why it is necessary to identify things that are bad and then start to investigate them. So why? It's because it's dangerous. It's because the fear of getting hurt again, it takes so much away from you. Example, me personally, because I'm actually a very soft person. Like, I'm very, very soft. I'm a very, very, like, in the reality of the realities, I'm a very soft person. So because of that fact, and because I have seen how with exposure to people and everything, they can easily enter into my heart. So now, if I start getting close to someone, something in me wants to pull back. Something in me wants to run away because that's how I started getting close to that other person, and they just disappeared. Random story. This is not even a random story. This is a real life story. It's a crazy story. I was in year 3. No, yeah. I was in year 3 uni. And I started talking to this person. Like, so we met at the end of year 2, and we were talking over the week, over the holiday. We came back to school. I think maybe a few days after school resumed, we met up, had conversations, had a nice time. We were supposed to see the next day. The next day, you guys, and the babe basically disappeared. Like, she basically disappeared. Like, she disappeared. Like gone. Call, nothing. And I didn't know her friends. I did not know her friends. I think I actually knew them, but like, they were not. I don't know. They did, when you don't just know people like that, and you're just not dating the person, so you're not sure you have that type of this thing to start randomly asking people, oh, where's your friend? So this person basically disappeared, and let me tell you the end of that story. She came back after a few weeks, said she was not feeling fine, and then a few weeks later, she came back and said, I was not putting effort. Which I know now that it was a dirty lie. But anyways, let's move on. But what that experience did was it added, you know what I said about people, like, as you go through life, things get added, things get removed. It added a thing of when people start getting flaky, I immediately start to just pull back. Because you're disappearing, so I'm not even gonna Now, let me start to really enter. You need to check. Sometimes when we say stuff like, oh, this is who I am, you need to ask yourself. And I learned this from, I'm not sure if I can say friend, but I think I can say friend. I learned this from a friend. When you see certain behaviors in your life, you need to ask yourself, where is this thing from? Where is it from? Where did this thing from? Where did this idea enter into me? Another thing, till today, if I'm telling you gist, I don't feel comfortable saying the person's name, because in the uni I was in OAU, when I was in year one, like you see how like stupid things they stick. When I was in year one, there was a thing about casting, and casting is like getting, or people knowing too much about you, or people knowing too much information about you, or people knowing all the bad things you are doing. So there was a fear for everybody not to cast, basically. And then, so because of that, I gained a sense of secrecy. Secrets that does not mean anything, that does not affect anybody's life. It has just been there. You need to heal. You need to identify this thing is not normal. This thing is not normal. This thing is not a normal way to live. And again, why? Because what it does is it caps the benefits. You don't know what you're missing out of because of the walls that you've built. All the joy you're missing out of because of all the walls that you've built. And now, let's be clear. Your reaction to pain or to hurt is not stupid, and it is not illogical, because we learnt, we we created gloves because our hands were cold. We made cars as human beings because we had to go farther. We learned to create spacesuits because we realized that if you step out into the abyss of space, you will die. We learned we learn from our experiences. But then we don't now lock out, as they say, don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. So don't lock out this that hatred for men. Because, and the funny thing is, you will still be dating men, but that thing is there. And see, the crazy thing, the interesting thing, the funny thing about these things is they don't leave, and they don't always pop up early. Like, it doesn't always show up early. It doesn't always come up as the most important thing in time. It stays, and then it's just festering. It's just festering. It's just festering. It's just festering. And then you do certain things, and it seems logical to you because of, I'm trying to think of a way to explain this thing. It's like, if something is in your heart, something is in your heart, and you've not dealt with it, you've not removed it, but for right now, it is not hindering your movement towards a certain goal. Yeah? But every time something that relates to that pain, that relates to that hurt happens, it's just getting stored. It's just waiting. It's just waiting. It's like you have a wound. You have a wound on your leg, but it doesn't hurt you that much. You can still walk around, you can still move around. But then, because you don't keep it clean, you don't cover it. So as you're going out every day, bacteria is adding. bacteria is adding. I'm not sure if this is actually medical science, but follow me. Bacteria is adding, different things are adding, they are being added, they are being added, they are being added, they are being added until the day your leg starts to rot. That is the I was about to say that is the danger of not healing, but that is the reason why we need to heal, why we need to fix things, because it is not killing you right now doesn't mean it doesn't plan to kill you. And healing from heartbreak, healing from disappointments, truly, truly moving on. Like people say they've moved on, and maybe they're just dating somebody new, but that thing is still there. It is still there. Every time every time his phone rings, your heart has already gone. That is somebody else. Or you've reached the point where you're now like, oh, he's actually okay. He can do whatever he wants. Somebody asked me something this week when I think on Thursday. Very, very rubbish conversation, but it pays mind to this thing about fixing things, about dealing with things. The person asked me is would I be okay if someone I was with somebody else? And I laughed because at a point, I was like, it's okay. Because in previous situations, you see, the mind is a very funny thing. Because in previous situations, it felt like I lost out on someone because they wanted to be with somebody else. So, and I feel like maybe maybe I don't have sense, but but the point is, it felt like okay. So since that was his problem, if I'm okay with them being with somebody else as well as being with me, then it works out. And you see the madness. You see the actual madness when you are not awake, when you are when you are seated in darkness. And I'm going to reach the point where like we talk about help, but I'm trying to get us to get to the point where because remember, almost everything we do on this podcast is to push you towards self-reflection, is to make you ask yourself, what is this thing? Where is it from? How do I remove it? What this behavior, this thing that I'm always doing, let me tell you another one. I feel like I'm exposing myself today. And see, foolishness is very readily available. That's why wisdom is rare. When I was in, I think it was even secondary school or uni, it was secondary school or uni, one of the two. Someone was like, that because you know that men, I don't think we like get our hearts broken, or we don't want to show that it's very painful. So someone now detected a technology that instead of moving to one woman at a time, you have to spread your bets. You get, so if you bet, I don't even bet, so like, I can't really explain what I'm doing. But I'm guessing that if you have 100 pounds, for example, and you want to bet, if you bet 100 pounds on one game and it does not go, you lose your whole 100 pounds. But if you bet 20 pounds in 5 games, you most likely at least go home with maybe 40 pounds or 20 pounds. At least you go home with something. So that was the logic at the point. You see that I don't even know how I got here. And yes, I remember why I got here. And that thing, that installation, I noticed at a point that if I'm talking to one person, I will start feeling like I need to start talking to other people as well. Not like I don't like the person I'm talking to, not like the person is not great or anything. I will just start to feel like I need to start and to venture out into the world and see what's that like. I'm trying to get us to see how small things, conversations, ideas, how they just enter and they start to, and they plant themselves. And if you don't go and remove it, if you don't go and find it, remove it or put it, destroy it, burn it, it's become a problem. And pay attention to your thoughts. So now let's move to step two. How? So we've said why, we've said what. So what is anything? Anything, any thought, any feeling that is hampering you from living as you should live, or is altering your actual reality, because it's like an addiction. What an addiction is that your brain has been hardwired to need something that your brain did not need before. So the what you are healing from is something that has made you start to act, think in a way that you did not act or think before. So now we've discussed why, because you are missing out, and you're most likely, especially when it comes to relationships with people, you're most likely missing out on some joy. You're most likely missing out on some joy. Now, obviously, please, let's be sensible. You can smell fragrances. Let me not say it like that. You can tell that people, you can tell that this, you can see that this woman looks like, this woman is moving in the shape of the woman that broke my heart. Don't move to that woman again now. Move, look, let your, go and wash your eyes so you can see clearly. Because I don't know. You cannot say you are healing and then you are going back to the same. You cannot keep on going back. You have to move. So let's just be clear. So we said why, we said what, and now we're talking about how. So now that you've seen that this thing is a problem, you need to accept that it is a problem. Because you cannot just say, this is how I am now. This is how I am. That's how life is. You know, you need to accept that this, they need to accept that this is a problem. You need to investigate it. You need to investigate it. Where did this thing come from? Because what happens when you investigate is that you see the foolishness behind it. All the examples I gave, you can see that now. As I'm sitting down here, I can see the depth of the foolishness those things came out from, those ideas came out from. Because I'm very sure if I ever remember the person or the people that had those conversations, I'll just be look at this senseless person. I feel like I've been insulting people since the beginning of this episode. But the point is, when you investigate it, you can see that this thing is rubbish. Then, sorry, then ask for help. And ask for help from the Holy Spirit. Like, and I feel like sometimes it's not even like a very, it's not like a, it might not be a very gymnastic prayer. It's just Holy Spirit. This thing is not me. I need to take it out. Then make conscious efforts to adjust it. Start to start to break down the walls that you've built. Now I understand that this is a very scary process, because when you're opening up your heart, especially when it comes to like I'm going to say, is it romantic? Yes. When it comes to romantic relationships, when you're opening up your heart again, it is it is a gradual process. It is You are still very cautious, which is good. Cautiousness is good, but then the walls have to come down, or the gate has to open, because what the difference between the walls and the gate is that a gate is a filter, a wall is a cap. So when there's a filter, it reduces the people that can come in. It checks the people that can come into your life. But when there's a cap, no one can come in. Ooh, that is so nice. That's a very cool analogy. So open the gate. Obviously, be careful. Be cautious. When you start to, if you are feeling it, you can step, like, honestly, especially romantic relationships. If you are starting to feel a type of way, you're not sure this person, you can step back and allow your brain to work. You guys, allow your brain to work. Allow your brain to work. I was talking to someone yesterday and I was saying that sometimes we can tell this person does not rate me. Like, you can tell. You can tell. Please, let it go. Stop. That hope that you have is good. Go and hope on Christ. Go and hope on the one that can save your soul. And leave this person alone. Don't try to change anybody. I feel like this is turning to, but honestly, don't try to change anybody. Don't, all of that. Let it, because see, the truth is, you have to love yourself. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. And love thy neighbor as thyself. You have to love yourself. You cannot be, see, if you are giving love, if you come to me now, I cannot give you water out of an empty bottle. There has to be water inside. So you need to love yourself. You need to allow God to love you. And as God loves you, He will not want you to be wasting time trying to you cannot change anybody. Let them go and change. If you love them, pray for them. But you are not their mother. They are grown. And in case they are not grown, maybe you should leave them so they can grow. Do you get? Are you with me? Anyways, so let's quickly do a quick review. Honestly, I thought this episode was going to be short, but let's do a quick review. So why do we want to heal? Because it is hampering the fullness of expression, what is available in joy, in friendship, in happiness, in everything that's available to you. You want to actually enjoy your life, so you need to heal so you can enjoy your life. What are we healing from? Everything that is hampering our fullness, every hurt, every pain from anywhere, from anyone. Heal from it so you can move on. Then how? First of all, we identify, we accept, we investigate, we ask for help, and we take conscious effort. So now we're going to read the beginning. So remember, at the beginning we said fear teaches you to build walls to keep out pain and hurt. But what it doesn't tell you is that those same walls keep love out as well. Now, what we're ending with is open a gate. Let it be a filter, not a cap. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate you. I've been MJ, and good night.